Welcome back to our series of films celebrating the incredible biodiversity that lives in and around the railway. Network Rail manages over 11,000 miles of railway and carries millions of passengers and over 80 million tonnes of freight every year. We also maintain, manage and nurture around 50,000 hectares of land, which is home to a large and diverse range of flora and fauna.
In our last episode, we looked at the way that we're managing the land that surrounds the railway to create an environment for rare trees and a whole host of other wildlife.
I'm a passenger as well as a railway person, so how does biodiversity help me when I'm sitting on a train?
It doesn't really help you, although it is quite nice to look at as you're gazing out the window. But what it is, it's the way that we manage the biodiversity and the habitats that it's in order to create a safe performing railway. And that structure of vegetation is really good for that biodiversity.
So there you go, a biodiverse railway is also a safe and... Anyway, I'm here today to talk about reptiles that live along the railway. And I've come to this incredible rewilded railway land in Findon, Northamptonshire to meet environmental consultant Hamish Critchell-Ward. What's significant about the history of this site?
So this site was really important for the Midland Main Line electrification. It was a big compound, and prior to that it's also had a lot of significance for the railway generally. So there used to be a station just out here, and this is an old Victorian landfill as well.
It's not like that now. What happened?
So there was an opportunity basically to reuse the site in a different way. And we already had some established habitat here, but then we thought there could be something more that we could do with the site as well.
And what have we done to make it look like this?
So we've stripped back some topsoil and done a bit of moulding of the land so that we can get ponds to establish, and hopefully we won't see a nutrient imbalance by removing that topsoil. We've got a butterfly berm over here, we've got wildflower, we've got loads of hedgerow native species, so yeah, hopefully we're doing a lot to help biodiversity on site.
And it will take a few years for these ponds to become established. When they do become established, what kind of species are you hoping to see here?
We're really hoping to see great crested newts. We've got historical evidence that they were breeding on site. So yeah, if we can hopefully see in a few years' time that they're starting to migrate and use the ponds that we're creating, that'll be really brilliant.
Rewilding land is still unusual, not just for the railway, but in Britain. So I went to see Network Rail's infrastructure director for this line, Tara Scott, to understand why we did it.
Managing biodiversity allows me to deliver a safe and reliable railway, because if we're managing the trees and we're managing the vegetation, there's less risk then for the infrastructure. So I'm really fortunate, I guess. I've got two reasons. That one, I think it's really important for that generation to come, but also delivering my promise of delivering a safe and reliable railway.
Okay, time to talk snakes, adders to be precise. I've come to the Lakes District and a busy stretch of the West Coast Main Line between London and Glasgow to meet senior ecologist Alex Baldwin to understand what it is that makes the railway such an attractive spot for these wonderful creatures.
It really is perfect for adders because you've got tussocky vegetation that will give cover, provide shelter. As well as that, we've got this nice grassland habitat, which is really, really good for small mammals such as voles and mice, which are key prey items for the adder. But then there's also open areas where they can forage, and most importantly, places for them to bask.
And what about in Network Rail? What are we doing to help them?
We're far more considered now in our approach. We're trying to retain the corridor, retain low-growing native species of plant. We're just trying to really make it a much more biodiverse place. And on top of that, we are able to include features such as log piles, or even build things called hibernacula, which are made from sort of moss, grasses, logs and that sort of thing. And they make really, really nice hibernation features, or just resting features for reptiles and also amphibians and other small animals.
Oh, that's fantastic. And finally, They are venomous. They're our only venomous snake. What do you say to people if they spot one?
I mean, the best advice you can really give is just stay well away from it. Just leave it alone.
As well as adders, sand lizards and great crested newts, you can also find grass snakes and slow worms alongside the railway. And if you don't know, slow worms are lizards but without legs. They're also protected, so if you see one, please leave it alone. That's it for today's episode. If you'd like to find out more, please go to networkrail.co.uk/biodiversity. And I'll see you next time.